Do you know who EDP445 is?
Who?
EDP445.
I do, and yes, I did hear about this.
You did hear about this. Okay, great.
Yep.
How much do you know
There was
about
a certain quote that did not age well.
Oh, a certain quote.
Yeah.
Which quote? The
quote exactly. He said, he's a...
What's up? I think you're like cutting out or something.
A sex offender now? Ah, shit.
Sort of. No, you might be fine.
It's a kid.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So, yeah, for you and everyone in the audience, I can give a brief rundown about what's happened thus far because I've been keeping up with it. All right, we're recording again. Sorry about that. Had some Discord issues. So, let me just circle back to what I was saying, where I'm going to have to like awkwardly cut this in at some point. Hopefully it doesn't go too poorly. But so EDP outed as kind of being a pedophile.
Yeah.
So
I don't know the full story. I just I saw a meme. He had some quote about a kid. I forget what the quote was.
Okay.
And it was that John Tron picture. Yeah, that did not age quite so well.
Oh, yeah.
So I just kind of connected the dots. I don't really know the full story.
All right. So, here's like the main takeaways, right? So, two main players here. We have EDP445, which obviously everyone knows stands for Eat That Pussy 445.
What else would it stand for?
Exactly. Well, I mean, actually, everyone has now been making jokes about what that means. Because now that text log has been handed over to the police, people are theorizing that this whole time it's actually meant entering dat prison, but
I like it.
That's for later. So, apart from that, we have Chet Goldstein, who also goes by Alex, and he's sort of the really trying to be Chris Hansen, but like also be a stand-up comedian at the same time, edgy persona guy, who ended up making this whole thing happen in the first place. So, there had been rumors for a while that EDP was a pedophile, but none of them could really stick. A lot of them had, like, some evidence, but there wasn't a whole lot, and he could always hide behind, like, oh no, I was trolling, haha. And it's like, right. Okay, well, I mean, I don't think Poe's law is a very good defense, but there's not a whole lot you can do about it. So, whatever, right? So, Chet Goldstein, doing his series on exposing pedophiles, decides to create an Instagram account for a 13-year-old girl and hit up EDP and try to incriminate him, basically. Or get him to incriminate himself, rather.
Right.
So here's the weird thing, right? Chet Goldstein, this is going to be important later, Chet Goldstein swears that all of the pictures he used in populating the account and sending EDP pictures when he asked for them were from a real 13-year-old. Like, he claims that, like, no, these were all an actual 13-year-old decoy that I have sent those pictures to me, and then I put them on the Instagram page, right? So he's basically saying, like, no, she's actually 13. All of the pictures I used were of a 13-year-old, which I heard some people already saying doing something like that is a felony.
But,
yeah, it's, well, I mean, I don't think the 13-year-old sent any nudes or anything, but it's still, you're still trying to bait someone,
like pictures.
Nah, it wasn't nudes. I think it was just selfies, where it was like, oh, she has selfies on her page, and he's like,
prove it was.
Yeah, exactly. Be like, hey, prove that it's you and not some random stock image bitch. Send me a picture of you with a spoon on your head or something. And then he's like, hey, decoy, go put a spoon on your head, take a selfie, and then send it to me. And then I'll send it to him. And he's like, wow, you must be real. So, but I believe that is, I've heard some people saying it's still a felony. I'm not sure exactly what charge that would even be, but that's what I've heard. It may or may not be illegal. That remains to be seen. But he sort of swears by that, right? So he has this conversation with EDP, and the conversation alone is there's so much in there. There are so many weird details in there. Like, okay, in a typical like To Catch a Predator chat log, there's usually a lot of like dirty talk between both of them, and then usually the dude sends some dick pics, which EDP did, I believe. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's at least 1 or 2 dick pics in there. But it gets weirder than that. That's not the weirdest picture that he sent.
Oh, good.
Like, how do you get even weirder than sending a 13-year-old girl a picture of your dick? EDP finally cracked the code. The way to be weirder than that is send her a picture of your own shit. I don't know
why.
I don't know why he did it. He did, though.
Okay.
I think he was telling her about it and then just sent her a picture of it. So, you know, dudes listening, take notes. That's what girls love. That's how you slide into a girl's DMs. Just hit her with the unsolicited picture of your own shit.
Jesus.
Dude, yeah, what a fucking savage, bro. Like, amazing. So that's the level we're operating on now. He sent lots of selfies of himself too that have now been taken out of context, where it's just him at night and the lighting is terrible because it's just the flash on his phone and he's like in his bed and he just looks like a creature, which I'm sure is going to be part of the thumbnail. Which I have an elaborate joke for the thumbnail. It's not elaborate, but I have a joke for the thumbnail that I've already thought of, and I don't know how eye-catching it's going to be, but I kind of like the concept too much not to do it.
Okay. Follow your dreams.
Exactly. So, EDP, he's talking to this decoy, and this decoy's like, hey, let's meet up. And he's like, all right, sweet. So then Chet Goldstein, having actually been the decoy account, decides to live stream EDP showing up to the place and then interviewing him. Keep in mind, that means that Chet Goldstein had time to prepare for it. It happened at the time he decided, and he was given days of notice beforehand that it was going to happen. He was so unprepared. Like, it's clear watching the interview that the only thing he prepared were, like, really stupid quips. Like, really stupid jokes to drop mid-interview.
When you're catching a pedophile, that's of the utmost importance.
Yeah, like, here's the thing, right? Like, I think the problem is he watched an episode of To Catch a Predator, and it was one where Chris Hansen was being particularly snarky and just decided, yeah, I'll do that. I'll just be really charismatic about it. And it's like, here's the thing. The Chris Hansen jokes weren't ever actually funny. They were just so corny, but you couldn't be mad because he was out here getting pedophiles arrested that you're like, all right, you're allowed to make a few dad jokes in the process.
Right.
And you can sometimes laugh at how bad they are, but they weren't ever, like, just straight up flops, you know what I mean? Like, especially because they were very sparing. Like, it was obvious that Chris Hansen was there to interview a pedophile and maybe have some one-liners in there. This dude did it in reverse, where he's like, wouldn't it be funny if I made some jokes while interviewing a pedophile? So they start interviewing him, and he like barely had any fucking actual questions prepared. He had another YouTuber with him who I think was not as bad, but was still kind of weird. I think his name is CC Unit, but he was doing better, but it still wasn't good. What he was still doing a really shit job. It was just standing next to Chet Goldstein. He was kind of carrying the team. Like, is making him look better by comparison. So I just watched the interview again before we started recording, and oh my god, is it bad. Like, they show up and they have the most fucking ramshackle recording setup where it's CC Unit is wearing a weird, like, seatbelt GoPro attachment on his chest, and they have a camera guy that's just recording on his fucking cell phone.
Horizontal or vertical?
Horizontal.
Okay.
But
Slightly
it's like,
better.
yeah, but it's like, dude, you had days in advance to know that you were recording, you were going to be live streaming this, and you didn't even fucking bring a camera. You're doing it off your smartphone. Like,
Yeah, not great.
yeah, it's like, why would you? It's not like he just randomly showed up and you're like, oh shit, quick, start recording. It was like, all right, we're going to go here and set up an ambush for him. Like, you couldn't even bring a camera? You brought a cell phone and a GoPro. Okay. They had that and the fucking chat logs printed out, and that was about all of the prep they did, other than some absolutely fucking knee slapper one-liners. A lot of them were just, a lot of what Chet Goldstein was doing was just asking, essentially, why are you a pedophile? A lot of them were just like, why are you attracted to 13-year-old girls? And EDP did a really shit job of defending himself. Like, he was coming out here and just saying basically yes to every question. He's like, are you attracted to underage girls? And he's just like, correct. And it's like, bro, you can't just, what? You can't just be like, yes. This isn't that fucking, yeah, this isn't that fucking the Virgin versus Chad meme. You can't just be like, yes, and just let that stand. There are some times when that's okay. This is not one of those times. Like, really consider what you're about to say. I mean, I don't know if he knew if it was live or not, but still. Like, you're still being filmed, obviously. This dude's wearing a fucking GoPro. Like, the whole thing is just a total shit show. A lot of what Chet Goldstein was doing was basically just, he would ask him some sort of question and then say, yeah, but you can't do X, literally and figuratively, which he was going for this weird double entendre thing where he's saying, like, in the metaphysical, it's like, for instance, it's like, oh, you can't run away from this problem. So it's like, oh, you know, you can't just not pay attention to it and hope it'll go away. But then he goes, also, literally you can't, because he's calling him fat, which I'm not opposed to a good fat joke, but, like, listen. Maybe maybe try a little harder, and also maybe the pedophile sting isn't the best place for it. Like,
yeah,
there's, like, come on, man, at least make it about catching a pedophile and not just, like, making fun of this dude. Because, like, it was way more interesting to me watching To Catch a Predator, like, hearing what the pedophiles had to say for themselves, like, being caught.
Right.
It's like, Chris Hansen was never like, yeah, you're fat, haha, got him. He was like, he would just guilt trip them. He'd be like, were you really about to have sex with a 13-year-old? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this is who you are. This is what you're doing. You're this guy. And some of them were totally that guy, but my favorite, though, is there's a point on the live stream where it seems to me like they forgot that they were live streaming, and it looked like they were just going to try to fucking blackmail him. Like, it seems like they were about to just try to fucking blackmail him into doing something. I'm not even sure what, because they start asking him questions, and they're like, you know, we have the chat logs and whatever, like, you know, why shouldn't we send this to police? Why shouldn't we send this to the police or the sheriffs, right? Like, what can you do to stop us from doing that? And he's like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't, what do you want from me? I was like, are they about to be like, give us $50,000 and we won't send it? Like, why is that the line of questioning? Why shouldn't we send this to the police? Like, maybe if you're trying to extort him, that's okay, but that's not really, that's a really shitty look when you're supposed to be the good guy.
Yeah.
Chris Hansen was never like, all right, if you don't have to go to jail if you do me a favor. Like, it was never like that. He was just like, yeah, you're probably gonna have to go to prison now for being a fucking creep.
Fucking scumbag, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. My favorite, though, is right after they talk about him, like, them sending all that material to the police. Then, for some reason, they decided the obvious line of questioning here would be, what does EDP stand for? Like, the acronym? Which, I mean, everyone watching already knows that anyway. Kind of a stupid question. Like, he's said it many times. It's not like it's a secret. It's not like you've somehow cracked the code. And I suspect the only reason they asked that was so that Chet could hit a hilarious one-liner. Like, they're like, you know, what is what's up?
Lay it on me.
Okay, so they're like, EDP, what does that stand for? And he said, eat that pussy. And then he gives the explanation of why he chose that or whatever, right? He's like, oh, something with my first profile picture or whatever. Not really relevant. But then they're like, they then quickly segued it into what would happen when you go to prison, because then, you know, you're going to have other inmates coming up to you being like, hey, what are you in for? And then you'll be like, being a pedophile, and then they'll like beat the shit out of you, basically. That's where they started taking the interview. And then Chet Goldstein decides the thing that he needs to say to get the crowd on his side is, yeah, when you get to prison, EDP445, yeah, they're going to be eating that boy pussy 445 times.
What the fuck? Got him, I guess.
He literally said that. Dude, when I woke up today, I was not expecting to hear those words. What the, like, bro, what is that even? Where are you going with it? Why? Why did you? I only have questions for you. What the fuck, guy? Come on. You can't just do that.
God tier.
Yeah, I mean, what a great comedian. But just pick, like, are you doing a serious interview or are you just roasting him? Because if you were roasting him, it seems like a lot of effort to go to fucking catfish him into meeting you so you can just be like, haha, eat that boy pussy, haha, got him. Like,
I still don't understand it fully.
No, it still doesn't even make sense, but like,
okay.
I mean, it's so bad because clearly he's been thinking about all of these roasts for a while. Like, he's pulling them all out of his pocket. Like, none of them are just on the spot. It's really sad to watch. It is a whole fucking thing. So then, I mean, and the thing is, the other dude that was with him, that was wearing the fucking GoPro fucking CC unit, was like, he was doing this whole fucking, you know, he was basically trying to carry the whole interview, and he was clearly not on the same page as Chet Goldstein here. Like, they were clearly doing two different interviews or something. Because a lot of his questions did boil down to, why are you a pedophile? How many times have you done this? That kind of thing. But some of them were all right. And he's basically asking him, like, hey, man, do you think you need help? Or do you think you should go to prison? Like, that sort of thing. And it's like, that could be good. But then Chet Goldstein is over here talking about, I'm going to go call the police right now and get them down here. And then EDP decided, he's like, hold on, look, here's what we can do. We can maybe work something out. I'll call up a place that could get me like therapy or something right now while you guys are here to see that I'm doing it. And he's like, this was like 2 minutes after CC Unit said, do you need help or something? Like, you should go reach out, get help. He's saying like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Meanwhile, Chet Goldstein is fucking 5 feet over to his left, calling the cops on him. and then he starts EDP starts walking away, and he's like, come on, man, I'm trying to get help. And then CC Unit is like, nah, bro, it's too late for that. It's like, what, 2 minutes too late? You were just offering to get, like, you were just saying, like, dude, now is the time to try to get help. And then 2 minutes later, you're like, nah, bro, we're way past that. Like,
yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, like, bro, what changed? Like, I mean, I would have liked to see, I would have liked to see what CC Unit could have done if it was just him. Which I think that's the real moral of the story, was Chet Goldstein should have just laid the fuck off, because he is not, like, he was clearly looking for the spotlight, and I think he got more than he bargained for, and we're getting to that, but like,
yeah,
oh boy, he was not ready. So the interview starts sort of winding down. EDP keeps walking away like he's had enough. And then he's going to like call his friend or whatever to get picked up. his friend, he like, hey man, I need a ride back or whatever. So he's dialing the phone. He's calling his friend, and Chet is still following him, still on the phone with the local police or the sheriff or whatever. He's talking to the operator, and it's clear the operator is not having it. Like, the operator is like, I'm not sending someone over there. Because the way he's phrasing it is like, there's a guy that just admitted that he wants to have sex with a 13-year-old on camera. We have it all. It's like, okay, you want us to send a cop down? Like, okay, so you're just raving about there's some dude here saying he wants to have sex with a 13-year-old. Like, am I really going to waste a cop's time with that? Like, what? Why even bother? And he's like, no, just please send someone down here. And then EDP finally, like, I think I think his friend picks up or whatever. He's like, please just, send someone down here quick. I think he's calling someone. I think he's calling for backup. Like,
pedophiles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bro, he's trying to get the fucking pedophile Avengers to assemble around him. They're going to come down there and beat your ass, Chet. You got to watch out. He's calling backup. He's calling his boys. Bro, when the pedophiles' boys show up and just hit you with the fucking the combination attack where they're all just beating your ass on the ground, just saying sheesh, like, bro, like, I mean, like, that was so funny. He's calling back. Quick, get down here. He's calling reinforcements. Like, Chet, what the fuck are you doing, man? What are you doing? Seriously, what? It's so weird to me that Chet Goldstein set up the sting, and yet he seems like he's the one that's caught off guard. Like, he was the one that was caught lacking in this situation, and he set it up and had days of time to prepare for it. And, like, EDP still didn't come out of it looking good, because he basically just said yes to every question, like he was just trying to not pick a fight or something. Which is funny, because every time anyone accused him of being a pedophile, he would, on video, be like, man, fuck you. I'll fuck you up. Like, man, get the fuck out of here. That kind of thing. Like, just acting really tough. Like, and then as soon as he's confronted in real life, face to face with someone, he's like, yes, I am attracted to 13-year-olds. Like, bro, what? Like, it's clear that the whole behind the camera thing versus on camera thing, like, it's just a tough guy persona. You're not actually tough. So, I mean, he's just, it's this whole fucking thing, but like, so he's like, he finally gets picked up and leaves. So then some more big developments come out, right? So this whole thing is still a shit show. Their live stream is up. They upload the video of the whole text conversation where everyone can see that he sent a picture of his shit to a 13-year-old, because, I mean, that's a real chick magnet. Like, that's how you really just show a girl that you're a true alpha male. Is just send her a picture of your shit. But, like, so, they end up doing that. And EDP removes all of his videos from his YouTube channel. Like, he deletes all of them. So for a solid, like, 3 or 4 day span there, he had, like, no videos, but still 2 million subscribers. And it just kind of, like, hovered there for a bit. So then some more shit dropped pertaining to Chet Goldstein. So the new drama was a chat log sort of thing surfaced with Chet Goldstein, and, like, it was him and one of his decoys who, remember earlier, he swears is actually a 13-year-old, not a decoy, no troll. Something surfaces there, and basically, it's Chet Goldstein's DMs with his own decoy, right? And it's really fucking weird, because he's over here asking this decoy that, again, he swears is 13. He's asking her, like, yeah, I need you to send nudes because the pedophile asked for some. Like, the pedophile totally needs it. It's not for me. I mean, it's the pedophile needs it. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm not asking, but, like, I'm gonna need to see those titties, bitch. Like,
Jesus.
He didn't say that directly, but I'm paraphrasing. But like, so then everyone's like, wait a minute. So is Chet Goldstein also a pedophile, or is he a liar? Because he's got to be at least one. Either she is 13 and he's a pedophile, or she's not 13 and he's just a creep. So that's definitely why the thumbnail to this video is that one meme where it's both Spider-Mans pointing at each other and it's just EDP and Chet Goldstein. And it's just being a pedophile. So Chet Goldstein gets fucking outed as being possibly a pedophile. The jury is still out on that. And so at this point, EDP's channel is still barren, but up. And Chet Goldstein's is still doing fine. Then a couple days go by, and both channels get deleted. So it wasn't even really a win for Chet Goldstein. I'm sure he made some money very quickly, but then got his whole shit deleted. Like, I mean, I'm sure the numbers he was pulling before it got deleted were huge. So I'm sure that's great for him. The thing is, it's kind of a scumbag move that he pulled, though, because he was apparently sitting on the recording of EDP's chat log for like several days before uploading it, just waiting for it to get fully monetized before he uploaded it.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of shitbag moves on this one.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, the only person who's even remotely respectable in this whole thing is CC Unit, and even then, that's kind of a low bar. Right, like, as far as I know, so far, the worst thing that CC Unit has done is had some really shitty questions to ask EDP. That's really about it. And it's like, a bad interview is not the same as being a pedophile.
Right.
So, yeah, Chet Goldstein sits on this information until he can make the most amount of money off of it and then uploads it. So people quickly realized, okay, well, he's not doing some sort of altruistic thing. It's just that he sees the opportunity to make a lot of money. And it just so happens that the opportunity to make a lot of money will also get you seen as the good guy. And that's the only reason he's doing an actually good thing in exposing a pedophile. Like, the fact that it was mutually beneficial to the common good and him is the only reason he did it.
Right.
So, both their channels get fucking deleted. I don't know what's happened to Chet Goldstein since then. I don't know if he's made a second channel. I don't know if he's doing his own thing. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about him yet. EDP, however, still has his other social media up. It's just his YouTube that's gone, I think. So his Facebook page is still up. His Facebook page only had like 6,000 fucking followers or something, opposed to his YouTube channel that had 2 million. So after his channel gets taken down, EDP goes to his Facebook and puts out a video and says, hey guys, don't worry. Yeah, I know my channel was taken down. That's fine. I'm going to be starting my own website and I'm going to be putting shit up on there. It's going to be called EDP445.com. And I was like, bro, you shouldn't have said that because now I'm sure someone owns that domain unless you already owned it. If you didn't already own the rights to that, someone took that immediately. And it's just going to be like a link to, like, it's just going to be a gif of you fucking crying while being called a pedophile. But beside the point. So he says, hey, I'm going to be setting up EDP445.com. The Eat That Pussy movement will continue. Like, he said
the movement.
He described it as a movement. That's a direct quote. Is the Eat That Pussy 445 movement will continue. Which I thought that was funny. Because, I mean, why does that qualify as a movement? What are you moving towards other than, like, the playground? See, Chet, start taking notes. That's how you make a fucking pedophile joke, bitch! So anyway.
Got him.
Yeah, fuck you too, Chet. That's how you do it. So anyway. He says it's the movement, which I don't even know what the fuck that means. So in between that and now, he also put up another video where basically he sort of responded to Chet Goldstein, and there was no substance to it whatsoever. It was basically him essentially just saying, hey, Chet, you're irrelevant. My channel was way bigger than yours, and I've been on YouTube longer than you.
One's bigger, bitch.
Exactly. He's basically just dick measuring.
Just comparing size.
He is. He's like, yeah, dude, I had 2 million subscribers, and I've been on YouTube for 11 years. I've seen so many people that are shitty clout chasers like you. You're not the first, and you're not going to be the last. I've been, like, that kind of thing, right? He's basically just giving him the, I'm the one that will be here when this is all over, like, spiel. And that's kind of all he had to say about it. Like, he didn't address any of the actual substance of the argument. As if, like, Chet was even the one making any argument, which he really wasn't. Because, I mean, it was, well, like, Chet did a real shitty job at conveying his point. But everyone still wants to know what the fuck he has to say about it. Like, he's kind of squandered his chance to defend himself, because the first video he makes after announcing where to find his new videos should be the, hey, this isn't as bad as it looks, or an apology. Those are the two things that can get you out of this, like, hot water the quickest. And it was neither. It was attacking the guy that made you look bad.
Yeah.
So it's totally straw manning. Well, it's not straw manning, but it's total fucking ad hominem here, which is weird because it seems like it would actually be super easy to actually, like, make some sort of defense against Chet fucking Goldstein, because, I mean, he did a really bad job here. Honestly, when I was watching the interview, I half thought the best defense here would just double down on Poe's Law and be like, yeah, actually, Chet's in on it. This was just a troll. Right? That's where I would go with it if I was him. I would be like, yeah, he's actually in on it. Don't believe anything he says. He's trolling you. We actually just wanted views. This is all fake. Because how can he disprove that? Because Chet Goldstein has no fucking credibility either. Right? Chet would be like, no, it's all real. And it's like, no one believes what you have to say, bro. Like, the only thing we can believe is the messages, and we don't even know if those are... Like, we know they're not doctored, like, because EDP agreed that those were real when you showed them to him. But, like, that's all we know that's 100% true here. So, I mean, that's what I would do if I was him. I would just be like, you know what? Fuck it. Double down here. The interesting question everyone had after seeing that, though, was, okay, well, does EDP go to prison now? And the funny thing about it is, probably not. Actually, probably not after everything he did. Because all of the sources I could find about it were basically saying, like, yeah, the cops have been given the material from the investigation, but they aren't very optimistic about it. Because, I mean, there are certain, like, there's a lot of legal barriers you need to sort of... I'm not sure what the word is, but there's a lot of requirements for any of that to be admissible in court. And a lot of it apparently won't be, or it's going to be hard to sort of sanitize it into being admissible to a point where they probably don't have a case against him. So basically all it was good for is boosting Chet Goldstein's numbers until his channel got deleted. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we all learned something here.
Yeah, I think we all learned something, which is, don't...
Fuck everybody. The world sucks. We're all going to hell.
Yeah, I think the real lesson is don't try to be the next Chris Hansen if you're just trying to dunk on people. If you're just trying to dunk on people, that's fine. Dunking on people is fun. But, like, don't try to be, like, Chris Hansen about it. Don't try to pretend like you're him. How dare you stand where he stood? Like... I mean, and that's the thing, too. Like, Chet Goldstein already was kind of a fucking... I think I'm comfortable calling him a laughingstock at this point. Like, it's not quite as bad as certain other figures on the internet where everyone just sort of collectively gathers around to laugh at them. But I think he's going to quickly become it while trying to defend himself here. Because for some reason, people defending themselves only seem to dig holes for themselves.
Yeah.
like, whenever people try to make some sort of apology video, that gets memed the fuck out, and then just...
Yes.
Like, dude, even now, James Charles still gets told he looks like fucking Mike Wazowski with 2 eyes or whatever. Like,
fuck James Charles.
Yeah. Dude, James Charles is still getting fucking outed for being weird and inappropriate with young fans. And here's the thing, his PR is way better. That's why he keeps getting away with this.